video. The title was called 24 Hours Before the Rapture of the Church. So, predicting the future, I can't tell the future, but I can predict it depending on what I know about the world, how psychology is, and how God works, and how humanity is. So, 24 hours before the rapture, in whatever century or year that is, it happens, or month, day, there will be a lot of strife in the world. People will be doing their own thing. They all feel they're the victim. They'll be everything but ready for God to take them. There'll be strife amongst nations. They will be at a war, maybe even almost at war. But regardless, these great nations that are in a conflict, they will have attacked each other or whatever. There'll be a lot of job losses, a lot of chaos. Folks have no idea what to do. And folks don't care. They'll be only worried about themselves. They have no love, no interest for nobody. Only what you can do for them, and that's it. And children will be disgustingly against their parents, will not respect them or whatever. They'll have people have no honor, no respect, no dignity. They'll be a shell of what it means to be a human being, a person. Excuse me for the belch I just ate. And the weather will likely be crazy, strange weather patterns. More noises of trumpets blowing, but nobody can figure out where it's coming from. Many noise in diverse places. Many noise in diverse places, but nobody can figure out where that noise is coming from. There'll be earthquakes and all sorts of stuff all over the place. People will be displaced, war torn, or whatever. The money will be almost gone, if not gone already. The stores will be struggling to survive. There'll be a time of great unrest. People will only care about themselves. They will deny God and the Holy Trinity even further. They will seek anything that makes them feel good, just so that they don't feel responsible as being the ones to blame. They only care about self-interest and nothing else. The technology will probably be what we are familiar with today, or a little bit more advanced, depending on how far in the future the rapture is, the taking away of God's people from the earth before the 7-year tribulation starts. The rapture will happen, likely on a day when people are not expecting it, which means it will likely be a time of great unrest, of paranoia, people raging, having something against their neighbors and whatnot. If I know the Holy Trinity, the psychology of the Father in heaven, that's likely when the rapture of the church is going to happen, when the world is in great distress. Because it has to be like that if the Antichrist is going to take power for the 7 years of the tribulation period. Anything outside of that, the Antichrist won't be nowhere near successful. There will be a time of longing. Some will turn to God, majority will turn away from God, which will be the real Jesus Christ, the one who ascended to heaven, seated at the right hand of the Father, the Prince of Peace. They'll see the ones that reject Jesus Christ, they will see themselves as more important or superior. They'll have some kind of grudge, like they are the victim and whatever. Have all these elaborate reasons to hate God or something. And so they'll follow a false God, a cult leader, a man named the Antichrist that comes in splendor and grandeur, somehow making sorcery, magic, and league with demons, doing signs and wonders. The Antichrist's tricks will be based off of technology what's already on the planet. He will likely have some kind of weather machine or some kind of device that has not been presented to the public, which will explain how the Antichrist will do these minis, which will explain how the Antichrist will have many tricks and gadgets and toys that has not been released to the public nor known, which will explain how the Antichrist does all those signs and wonders. Problems to be sent out on purpose by the forces of evil, and then the forces of evil will release the cure, the resolutions to solve the very problems that they started. They will abuse the people's desperation, get them to accept the 666 mark of the beast, all the way up to the Battle of Armageddon, which is at the end of the 7 years, depending on what I've heard and read. The Spirit of God will be in the land to those that want to listen. There'll be a strong longing for God and a strong longing to not follow God at the exact same time before the rapture happens. The world will be in a time of great unrest and desperation, seeking answers and solutions, peace to anything that they can salvage from the old times, the old world that we are currently living in or whatever. There'll be everything but ready. There'll be monstrosities, basically in the flesh, they, the people of that time. A lot of vehicles will not be able to afford prices to move around. Thievery will run rampant. If you're gonna have anything, you better make sure you had it good, where nobody can find it except you. There'll be many attacks from other nations or whatever. People that don't belong in your land will be here, and people that should belong in your land won't be here. They'll either be dead or alive or away somewhere. Politicians, your governments that you're supposed to trust will only care about themselves even more. They will covet money, idols of money, gold, or whatever, but not care about the people. Not care about the people. The world will be in disarray. There'll be fornicators, idolaters, even more. People be out to get people fired, try to take their position to get them fired or whatever. There'll be only lovers of themselves. People have a lot of revenge and hate against one another because wrongs will abide in the land. They won't care about proper ethics, morals, or nothing. And in those days, the score will run rampant. And then the trumpets will blow, and Jesus will come and get his people to rapture the church. If I know the psychology of the Father in heaven, if I know the psychology of the world, how things will be 24 hours before the rapture of the church, the taking away of Christ's bride from the earth, save them from the 7-year tribulation. That is likely what's going to exist 24 hours before the rapture of the church, as foretold in the Bible or Torah. Give your life over to Jesus Christ or whoever's the one true God. That's all I can say. And do not follow the Antichrist.